Okay, we're down to public comments again. Again, we limited to 3 minutes. If we have any public comment, it's open now. We would ask you to take your chair so we get you recorded.
I do have some questions about the explanation on the bond fund. My first question is, Mr. Latham said that the Falcon Ridge substation is due to be completed in 2015. Is that correct?
On the bond documents, page 24, project load levels, transmission improvements 2015 lists the Dinosaur Falcon Station and transmission line.
Okay, so it's not completed yet.
No,
So if we have no money left, how are we gonna complete the construction of that?
the bond document specifies that it'll be a combination of bond funds and OPD funds to complete that. And we'll do that on an as-we-go basis.
But we have no bond money left to spend on the
No.
Falcon Ridge substation. Is that a
No.
correct statement?
That's correct.
I believe you explained that through the time that you were using the bond money, you would spend the money and pay the bills from the general fund, and then it was reimbursed with these draws from the bond fund. Is that correct?
Yes.
As I went through check register from the general fund after check register, I never saw any checks written from the general fund to pay construction companies out of the general fund that it would be reimbursed.
I'm not sure I understand that question.
Okay. So, for instance, you had a contract with Legacy Construction for in excess of $300,000 for one of the construction projects for the grading of the Dinosaur substation. As I went through the check registers from the general fund, I never saw a check written to Legacy Construction for in excess of $300,000.
We can certainly look at that. It may have been paid in parts and pieces.
I never saw any written in.
To Legacy at all? We can certainly look at that.
So that's
But
where
I'm
a lot
sure-
of my
I'm sure
confusion.
Legacy got paid. It just,
I'm sure they did too.
It probably didn't say on the description as a payment or bond funds, because when we pay those bills, it's just a payment of a regular invoice. So I don't know if you were looking for the description of that, it would not be there. But if you can give us an invoice number, we can show you exactly where it was paid.
Well, you have all the invoices.
I don't know which one you're talking about.
Okay. I'll give that to you. When was the last time that Wells Fargo came out to do any kind of audit? You say they come out, look, say, okay, you say you spent the money on this, let's see what it is. When was the last time that Wells Fargo came
I
to
don't
do that?
recall that. And I'm not sure they've come out
They
yet.
haven't come out on.
We have had on the past bond draws, haven't come out, but I don't.
So they have not come out at all on the 2008 bond,
No.
No, they did not come out at all, to my knowledge.
on the 2008 bond?
Correct.
None. Okay. When was the last time that the auditor that you hire for a yearly audit reviewed any of the bond fund documents themselves?
He would have done it this year.
Okay.
Any financial transaction that happens, he does an audit on.
Your 3 minutes are up.
And so are my questions. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
David Bollig. Barb hits on the nuts and bolts of this problem. The bigger problem is who made the decision to build Falcon Station when there's absolutely no perceived need for probably at least 10 years. There's nothing out there. There's nothing to connect to it, and there's nothing to connect on either end of it. I see the comments made that decisions are made. I don't see the board making any of these decisions. I see staff making decisions with no oversight from this board. So I saw nothing in Mr. Latham's report that stated that we take this procedure that we're going to decide that this is a capital improvement, not a maintenance. The staff's making those, and there's absolutely, I see no at any time at any meeting that the board has made any of those decisions, or any criteria to make those decisions. It just sounds like they're taking money from the bond to cover operating expenses. So if we go out and we replace a pole, and you decide that you made it a foot taller, now you can cover out of the bond fund, not operating fund. So now you're taking out of the bond fund to cover the labor of the normal, what I would consider maintenance labor. So now you've hidden all this maintenance labor and based on materials and employee salaries in this bond fund. I think there's a whole lot hidden in here that this board has just delegated to the staff. If you did that purposely, great. If not, you're not completing your fiduciary responsibilities. Thank you.
Once again, my name is Rick Green. As a CPA and a former, many of my clients were in the public utility business. I just want to point out that what I think is an oversight comment. The auditors, any auditor doesn't look at all the transactions in any year. Your audit report clearly states that he does that on a test basis. So I don't want your board to think that because we have an audit, if he looked at every transaction, you'd be paid a much higher fee than you're paying now. So he does it on a test basis using his judgment. He does look at all material transactions, but that's judged by the auditor.
What would you say is the percentage of the things you go, 10%, 1%?
Each auditor's is different.
That'd be a question you could ask him.
Craig Hafen, first I'd just like to thank you for having a meeting here. We requested that at the end of last year, and I appreciate that. As you're probably aware, I'm here as a citizen. I am on the city council, but a month or so ago we reduced our 3% right of way by 1%. We appreciate your cooperation with that as well. But you know, the things that are going on with the plant down in the other valley and that, I think there's some uncertainty in these times, and all the citizens here in Mesquite are asking that we do our best to put them on, and that's all I'm about as well. And but I do appreciate you holding meetings here. Not a big crowd, but we once again appreciate it. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Hagan.